Maybe the Seuss is just some kind of giant fish. Maybe all I need to do to solve this mystery is do what I do best, go fishing. But just as I'm starting to get comfortable with what I'm looking for, I get thrown a wild card. Something is investigating the bait, and there's part of me looking at that water that is saying, I hope it's only a small one. But actually, what I really want is a big one. That is direct to a fish. It feels like the bottom, but it's actually a fish. I'm just gonna, it hasn't woken up, it doesn't know it's hooked yet. Look at that rod, but it still doesn't actually know it's hooked. Take this easy. Be ready for it to run though, it might well run. It's actually in very close. There's the trace. The fish is going to be visible very soon. Ah, see the bubbles? Oh! Turtle, turtle, turtle. I've just got the mother of all turtles. The mother of all turtles. Although they're hardly ever seen, these waters are home to the biggest freshwater turtles in the world. This one would weigh in at about 200 pounds. That's heavier than I am. Could the Seuss be a turtle? Big stone here, big stone! Big stone here! They sure have the attitude. That neck is nearly half its body length. You need to cut the line. Blimey, O'Reilly. The reason these creatures are so rare is they're a favourite food. Turtles here are eaten. If the Seuss was a turtle, the people would have just told me. But could it be the killer? Softshell turtle. Very vicious jaws this end, but not quite what I was after. Turtles are not active predators. They're scavengers. They just sit and wait, fattening themselves up. And the chances of a turtle grabbing a swimmer, it doesn't really add up. Let alone snatch a fully grown buffalo. At least this one gets to fight another day. There is one avenue I haven't yet explored. Often, local knowledge is enshrined in folklore. Perhaps there are clues buried in the mythology of this ancient land. Buddhism is central to Cambodian culture, and it also has an intimate connection with nature. If anyone has special knowledge of the river's inhabitants, it may be the local monks. In this riverside temple, dragons, multi-headed cobras, and all manner of strange-looking beasts stare back at me from every wall and pillar. Could one of them, I wonder, have any connection with a real flesh and blood creature? When I ask Brother Teng Vuti, he describes an animal from the river that does indeed have a nasty bite. Kantiei? The local name means nothing to me, but bizarrely, I'm told that they actually keep one of these mysterious beasts right next to the temple. According to Teng Vuti, the creature's bite is powerful enough to crush bone or remove a finger, so our barefooted approach seems nothing short of reckless. It's him. Right, I can see nothing at all. When the monk reveals the beast, I recognize it as something I've tangled with before. A massive soft-shell turtle. It's very similar to one that I saw in India, and that one nearly took my hand off. so I'm being quite wary with this. It's got very sharp claws, but it's the beak I've got to watch. It's made up of razor-edged blades, and a turtle's bite really is strong enough to break bone. It's almost like bolt cutters. I mean, you really wouldn't want to get anywhere within range of that at all. This Cambodian species can grow bigger than me, but even a small one could inflict a crippling wound. So this thing, you'd never know it was there. It'd be very easy to blunder into it. And if you came within range of that mouth, it could do some serious damage. However, the very reason turtles are kept here tells me that they can't possibly be the animal I'm after. This is actually a breeding program aimed at saving the species from extinction. The fact is, these turtles are now simply too rare to be behind the multiple attacks I've heard about. Neville shares with me the result of his early morning bait fishing.
We have 4 species of fish here: silverfish, yakutu, piranha, and dari.
Go with half a fish to start?
This here?
Let's do that. I'm here to catch an elusive giant, but I'm not getting far. There's very little doing. I mean, there's nothing doing. There's nothing really to keep the hope alive at the moment. Escaping the afternoon sun, I head back to camp, but on the way spot 2 of my guides on a sandbar. They have made an unusual discovery.
I found it in a ladysmith.
And this beast here, this is, in its own right, it's a bit of a river monster, this river turtle. This is only a medium-sized one. It's an air breather. It lives practically all its life under the water. Not that common to see these. They come up, they just poke their nose to the surface and then go down again. So it's quite nice to see one out in the open. But I must be extremely careful. I know from previous experience that turtles can take you by surprise. The last thing I want is to lose my fingers to those powerful jaws. Can I feel how heavy it is?
Yes.
Is that all right? So is it, if I come around here? Oh, okay. The safest place to get a secure grip is on the shell behind the head. That's a heavy animal. That's heavy. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's a good, I don't know, 60 pounds or something. Oh. Not doing my back much good. I'm going to put it back down. It might kick off once it hits the ground. This animal is actually very eager to get back in the water. It's very powerful limbs. Those clawed hands, you know, it's almost a bit like a tank, this thing. One reason we want to get this back is because it's actually eaten. Throughout the Amazon, it's considered a delicacy. People who spend all their time feeding on fish, this makes a very welcome change. It gets pretty hard to get into, but it's very sought after meat, so we'll put this back in the water where it's going to be safe. You can actually go now. I'm going to pop around the other side. Go on in. That's impressive, how they can go from being immobile to that sudden burst of speed. Back into the water. Well, thanks for that. Thank you. So that is the kappa. Fascinating looking creature. Almost humanoid in some ways, 4 limbs. But then it's got these claws, 3 claws on each limb, and almost like fish scales. You know, it's obviously a very, very powerful mental image that people have. Everything here, these are all offerings. There's sake there, there's even some water, there's books, there's all sorts of drawings, but everything offerings that people have left here. And what I'm really interested in is finding out what real creature might have actually given rise to the kappa. I talk with a monk who seems to be in charge of looking after the shrine. It looks like the kappa is still very much alive in people's minds, but finding a real one is going to be a different matter entirely. However, I have heard of a place where apparently there is a mummified kappa. That is definitely something I've got to see for myself. Well, here it is. I have to say it is quite a creepy looking thing, whatever it is. The skin shrunken over the bones, and although it's very clearly dead, it does actually have the sense that it's looking out at you. Apparently it's found in the roof space here about 50 years ago inside this box, and they've created this shrine to it. And it's never been scientifically examined, but I think the feeling is that by honouring it, they are allowing it to continue to protect the brewery. It's some 400 years old, which dates it back to the Edo period of Japan, a time of superstition and fantasy. And as I draw its details, I have my suspicions as to what this mummified creature might be. Thank you. Well, fascinating looking thing. I didn't want to say too much in there because I don't actually think that that's any kind of real animal at all. I think it's more something that's been made from bits of different animals, which was actually not that uncommon in the old days in Japan. So it's not the answer that I'm looking for, but I think that in a strange way it takes me closer towards the answer, because if that is the kind of animal that people think the kappa is, then maybe I'm not looking for a fish after all. I've come to Kyoto University to meet somebody who can tell me what else there is besides fish that lives in Japanese rivers. Professor Matsui, can you tell me about what is living in the rivers in Japan apart from the fish?
Crabs, rocks, and newts, salamanders, turtles.
Turtles. Now that instantly triggers my thought process. I have encountered large turtles before. Could the kappa be a turtle? It would have to be a giant to inspire this legend. How big do the turtles grow?
The biggest turtle is about not so big, nearly 50 centimeters.
Nearly 50?
Yeah.
That's about 50 centimeters, isn't it? That's something like
But,
that. Not big enough to be the child-snatching kappa. But turtles have clearly influenced the legend, as the kappa is sometimes depicted with a shell. But as we talk further, Professor Matsui tells me of a creature known locally as the hanzaki, which lives in rivers and grows nearly 6 feet long. But it is very rare now. To find one, I'll have to travel into the remote hills. To meet a man who has dedicated his life to studying this mysterious creature. Is this another Japanese wild goose chase, or have I found my river monster? But even before I get a chance to find out, the weather intervenes. There's a turtle down here. That's one possible thing that the kappa could be, but actually, these guys don't grow very big. If they did, that would be a possibility. The creature I hunt is high in the hills. This challenge is calling on all the know-how I've gained in the 10 years since I first went after the goonch. I've fished so many places, so many countries around the world, so many different fish, and actually all of those fish, all of those captures inform everything that I do. Because when I'm fishing, I'm always casting around mentally for odd little snippets of information, little insights that might be relevant. But with things not working out, I'm inevitably starting to compare this experience with my first Goonch expedition. Am I a better fisherman? I don't know. I mean, am I more confident? Do I have more insight? Do I have... is my ability to see below the surface better? It was one of the Greek philosophers who said, you never step into the same river twice. I could modify that slightly. You never cast into the same river twice, because it is not the same river and you are not the same person. But one thing is the same, my determination to catch my quarry. I'm going to fish round the clock. Gharial hunt during the day. Maybe the Goonch will be more confident to feed after dark. Somewhere down there is the fish I'm after. I'm just trying to imagine what it's doing right now at this moment. The chances are it's picked up the scent of this bait. If you're a large, wily fish, you're thinking at some level that this is too good to be true, there has to be a catch. And what fish often do, and I've watched them do this, they will think about it, and you can almost see their minds working. There's greed on one hand against caution, and if things go the way you want them to go, gradually the caution will diminish. Maybe it's just moments away from taking, I don't know. It could be very close to the bait. Oh, yeah. It's coming in. There's something there. I'm going to swing it up here. Ah, it's a turtle. But I've got to be a bit careful of this thing. I would rather stick my leg or arm in a Goonch's mouth than anywhere near the mouth of one of these. If a big one of these did bite you, and that head can shoot out very quickly and quite a long distance, there's a lot of power in those jaw muscles. It would make a mess of you. It would leave a nasty scar. I'm making a point of keeping my distance as I look like this, because I'm not that far out of its range at the moment. There we go, it's looking around at me. Yeah. It's not what I was hoping for, but this turtle isn't a complete disappointment. When I caught that big Goonch from the same pool, I had one of these fellas. This one's probably about 7 or 8 pounds. I had one of these about 200 pounds. A turtle could be a good omen. And it better be. Tomorrow will be our final day in the national park. After nearly an hour of struggle, I might finally see my opponent.